welcome to the fifth, but very first online EU-China International Literary Festival. I'm your moderator, Riyanka Mohan, and I'm a writer based here in Beijing. It is with great pleasure that I introduce today's panelists to you, the brilliant and imaginative children's books authors, Saar from Estonia and Zhen from China. Born in 1980, Antti is a writer and translator who majored in semiotics. He's translated over 30 works from French. Since then, he's written 10 highly popular children's books. He enjoyed immediate acclaim with his first book, The Way Things Are With Us, which was selected for the 2014 White Ravens Catalog, which is an award given to books that deserve worldwide attention because of their universal themes and innovative literary style. Antti immerses himself in the world of children and is capable of glimpsing what is special and beautiful in ordinary everyday life. So welcome, Antti. And born in 1993, Zhen is a talented writer and prolific poet, having published more than 100 poems. She's won national awards for both her poetry as well as for her children's books. She currently lives in Beijing and she wears many creative hats as a writer, a poet, a lecturer, a screenwriter, a drama director, and even a video game designer. She writes, as she puts it, for her inner child, and her fiction paves the way for children to appreciate different ways of seeing the world. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us, Zhen. And today we join them to consider a frame of mind or creating from a child's perspective. I think you both are very interesting panelists to have together because, Antti, while you use real life situations for your stories, Zhen, you're more interested in the fantasy world with monsters and making friends with a polar bear shadow. So just to give the audience some context, I thought we might start with, what is the favorite book you've written yourself? And can you share with us some moments from it? Zhen, if you don't mind, I'll start with you.
大家好，我是珍珍。然后我觉得我今天最想给大家推荐的我的作品呢，就是这本书叫《有妖精》。如果翻译成英文，我觉得应该叫A Friend Like Monster or Elf, A Friend Like Elf。这本书呢，就是在中国是有一个传统的精怪文化，可能是在欧美文化中的传说里面呢是妖怪是比较多是人变成了动物，但是在中国的这个传说，古代传说里面多是动物或者是没有生命的东西变成了人。然后这以前呢，我们经常说到妖怪的故事，就会倾向于把它作为一个吓唬小孩子用的东西。但是现在呢，是一个科技非常发达的一个时代，所以大家一般就不相信妖怪这种传说了。这本书呢，就是我写了49个生活在现在这个时代的妖怪，就是他们会和人类的手机、还有飞机、还有现代生活融入到一起。如果说中国以前的妖怪文化是基于对科学的不了解，那么现在的这本书里我创造的妖怪就是我觉得就是万物永远是有灵的，即使在现在这个时代里，中国这个精怪文化仍然是有的。比如说其中有一个妖怪就是不知道这个合不合适说，就比如说开篇第一个故事呢，就是讲了一个雾霾鸡。就是雾霾鸡是怎样一个故事呢？就是讲的100年前有一个小女孩，她在山谷里，然后那个时候她是一个雾霾做的精灵，然后100年前呢，在山谷里有雾霾的话，是因为大家烧煤烧烟，有炊烟才会形成这个雾还有霾。但是在城市里，古代的城市里是没有雾霾的。于是呢，那个时候很虚弱的这个小雾霾精灵呢，就躺在山谷里，就说了一句话，唱了一个中国的民谣，叫做莫欺少年穷，终须有日龙穿凤。就是不要欺负我是年少的人，我很穷，但是终有一天我会穿龙戴凤，很有钱的样子，成为一个人上人。对，然后100年以后，中国就是污染的很严重，然后雾霾也很严重的情况下，然后他站在比太阳更高的地方， 这是太阳，这个整个精灵就笼罩了整个城市，这是 the city。然后，这个时候他就说啊，我终于成为了那个我当时觉得是终须有日龙穿凤的那个人。这就是一个精灵成长的一个故事，也是和现当代的中国的可能说污染治理的问题是息息相关的。谢谢。
Fantastic, thank you. And Auntie, now on to you. Your book will be very different, I think.
Hello, and thank you for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here. I think if I had to say which is the favorite of my books, then the answer would turn quite standard. It's with me. It's always like with the kids. I have 3 kids, and well, you cannot actually you cannot. It's hard to answer which is your favorite, which is the favorite of your children, but it tends to be that you are most occupied and you're you have to be most attentive and to take most care of the latest one. So my latest book is Anni's Things, Anni asjad in Estonian, which is namely written after written about my youngest child, who is a girl, a daughter, 2 sons who are elder. But now, yes, this is Anni, who is Ida in real life, and I think in that sense, as Yurianka said, that it might be, or it's probably quite different or even opposite to Zhen's book. It is probably true in that sense that my book really, my challenge in writing has been almost exclusively to bring just to find miracle in everyday life, so to say, to describe children's emotions and anxieties and thoughts and ideas, their fantasy, which is really a part of a daily life, and nothing surreal or extraordinary in that sense happens in this book. Neither. There are just little scenes of everyday life. It speaks about the most valuable and the most meaningful things of this little girl, who is 3 in the book, and they may be very concrete and very they may be real material things like a cup or a pet. They may be persons like brothers and aunt, and so they may be abstract like dreams or fears or secrets, and well, they just go one after another in a single row, and because it seems to me that it just seemed to me that my daughter takes them as they are in a single alignment. Yeah, I can show you some books of some pictures from this book. Pictures are made by Anne Pikov, a talented Estonian illustrator. See, there are some supernatural monsters under her tent, but they are just on his head. They are not real. They never come out from the tent. Anyway, it was when I started writing it. My daughter was 3, and it's kind of a documentation of her everyday life, which just seemed to me so valuable and so precious that instead of taking photographs or shooting little video clips, I found that I need to try to write about her. Although I have never written about so little kids, and I have not had a girl as a protagonist in any of my other books. So that was another challenge.
Now, I want to ask both of you, do you find it easy to write from the perspective of a child? What do you think are the key elements of such writing, and how does it differ from writing for an adult?
我觉得其实给孩子和给成人写是不一样的难度，就是他们难在不一样的方面。如果说硬要选一个更难的话，我会认为是给孩子写是更难的，因为孩子他有一些就是我个人比较喜欢去触碰的一些命题，比如说死亡，还有情感、爱情这些东西，其实在怎么说，就是你跟孩子去讲，可能是不是说他们不懂，而是说他们需要自己一些经历去理解你说的这些很复杂的成人的感情，所以跟孩子不是不能说，而是你要把这些情感包在故事后面，就是你要把这个爱情啊或者是死亡的东西套一个壳子，然后放在你的故事的后面，跟这个读者的距离是更远的。就是如果是成人写给成人的文学的话，我可以直接去写死亡和爱情，但是给孩子写的话，我就会在外面不停的套更多的metaphor 或者是意象这样的东西把它包裹起来。就是说到这个，我就想起就是我觉得给孩子写的东西是一种更纯粹的东西，它是一个高度提炼的东西，有点像诗和童话，它都比较模型化。但是给成人写的东西，你就可以写得更现实主义。但是给孩子写的东西，你就需要不断的追问自己说，当你在谈论爱情的时候，你真正谈论的是什么？是人和人之间的联系，还是当爱情结束的时候，你不想失去一个东西的感觉？这些东西就是当你把爱情无限的拆解成孩子可以理解的这些细碎的感情的维度的时候，你就会发现其实你写给孩子的儿童文学啊、童话啊这些东西，其实是对于作家来说是一个更难的一个考验。就比如说像小美人鱼啊，还有这些很经典的这些老的这些童话，其实都是有很多隐喻和象征，你可以去就是童话就儿童文学，你可以无限的去分析它。同样，它就像一个放射状的一个作品一样。然后，当你写儿童文学的时候，你也需要不断的穷尽说，当我写死亡的时候，我写的是什么？当我写爱情的时候，我真正想说的是什么？所以，我觉得写儿童文学对作家来说是个更严酷的一个考验。然后，儿童文学在我看来也是一个就比较打引号的更残忍的一个问题，就是对作家来说更残忍的问题，就是这样。
And Andy?
Yes, well, first I would totally agree with what Zhen just said, and I share this this feeling, most of it. As for myself, I would say that what I'm quite convinced is that children are better readers than the adults most of the time, because adults tend to ask unnecessary questions from themselves and from the author that children do not do, and it may happen that these adults, they just spoil their own pleasure of reading. So I want to say that I think that children are more appreciative in that sense, that they do not deny themselves the pleasure of reading, the pure pleasure. They do not ask impertinent questions, what are not to be asked. Anyway, I think this question might also have, for me at least, a bit more philosophical answer, perhaps. I would say that for me personally, just taking notice of writing for children, just writing for children, it's only partly taking notice of children's behavior or their or the way they think or the way they speak. It's rather, for me, it's a question of becoming a child, becoming what you once have been, because children do not have this experience of being an adult, but every adult has an experience in the past of being a child. So it's for me, it's a very precious experience of becoming who once I have been, and there is this Nietzschean moment about it. It's that in order to become what you have been, in order to become what you are, which is Nietzschean concept, you have to accept and approve what you have been. And in the conditions of that acceptance and this approval, those trips from here to there, they are much more easy and smooth.
So I now have a specific question for you, Zhen. You know, you include a lot of observational details, like things like doors, which you said is a metaphor, and in very simple language, you use it for a larger idea. So how do you decide on which elements and what to focus on? What inspires you?
当时说的门这个，我跟大家说一下，可能不是很多朋友看过门这个故事，然后我们主持人他看过门这个故事。门这个故事讲的就是，一个孩子从出生到死亡，他一共要经历多少扇门，打开多少扇门。那第一扇门是他小时候去开那个门，然后家人都很怕他去夹着手，他还在地上爬行。然后后来呢，门就是有的门很大，有的门很小。门很小的是小宠物的门，有的门很大是小孩子站在大大的景点第一次看到这个世界，这种很大的景点的那种大门。然后有的门可以打开，有的门不能打开，比如说去动物园，狮子在那个门后。然后有的门可以出，有的门是为了出去，比如说你将来长大了以后出去上大学，你走出了家门，意义也就是意味着你离开了故乡。那么有的门是为了回去，就是当你学完就是怎么说，学完了学业，然后或者是工作完了以后，过年的时候回家，家是为了你敞开的一个等待你回去的门。那么到最后我讲了一些，就是很宗教性的东西，就是比如说有的门离开了你就不能返回，比如说伊甸园里亚当和夏娃他们逃出了这扇门，他们就再也回不去了，就是失去了这个乐园。那么有的门即使你放弃一切你也想要回去，比如说一个辞职但是选择留在亲人身边的一个决定，回到这样的家里的门。那么最后这个故事就是讲这个孩子，他从一个很小的一个宝宝变成了一个 垂垂老矣的这样的一个老者，背后呢是他这一辈子经过的所有的成千上万扇门，对，然后那么最后一扇门呢，可能就是死亡的门，就是死神来迎接他到下一个世界的一个门。那这个时候他就想起了他来到这个人生的第一扇门，就是从妈妈的身体里走出来。这个当时是，我当时在经历一个非常，为什么我会选门这个意象呢？是因为当时我在经历一个非常非常，不太好的一个状况，可能就是情感啊、事业呀，然后自己的人生方向都是非常不确定的一个状况。然后，我当时会去上班的地方推开那个门，那个门是一个很沉重又不是太好用的一个生锈的门。然后我同时又在努力出版自己的作品。我记得我当时对接的出版社是一个大院儿，然后大院里有那种很高2-3米高的那种大门，推开需要很大的力气，就像我推开这个出版社的门去出版自己的书一样。所以我当时在很用力的去推这个出版社的门，拿着自己的稿件去找编辑的那一瞬间，我觉得我这种去推门的努力，想要从门后然后跨越到门前的这种意愿，还有这种手上很艰难的这种触感，心中的希望，以及这种就是又难又有希望的这种感觉，是当时一下子就好像给了我一个就是一个moment，然后我就心中又想到，其实这样推门的时刻，我们一生都是在不断的经历的。我就觉得人一生，不管是谁，不管是谁的哪一年、哪一个月、哪一天，其实我们都在不停的推开，就是现实意义的门，自己心理意义的门，以及很多事情你想要做，别人不想你做，这些所有的东西都是门。所以我就捋了一遍吧，从小时候，然后到人最后死亡，我发现所有事情都可以，所有转变都可以用门来概括。于是这样一本作品就形成了。对，这个大概就是一个例子吧。一个我就很多时候你会发现一个物件，其实有点像刚刚有妖精的那个想法，就你会发现那个雾霾，它从过去到现在，从古代没有什么雾霾到现在雾霾很多，这个情况，它不但是一个无生命的一个转变，它还是仿佛一个人就是莫欺少年穷，然后终有一天龙穿凤是一个拟人化的一个情绪的转变。这个门也是，它不仅仅是门，推门也不仅仅是推门，它都和人生还有人的感受是有很强的连接。那用什么东西把这两种东西连接起来呢？我觉得就是作家的笔，就是这种诗性的表达。对。
And I have a question for you, Auntie. Your language is very, very clear, and you capture these moments of growing up from a child's perspective and their significance and beauty in ways that stay with the reader long past reading. How do you decide which moments of childhood to capture in a story?
Thank you. This is true that I never seek anything extraordinary or fantastic. But well, the challenge is mostly to create a captivating story on the basis of the most daily, of the infraordinary. That is a word which doesn't really exist, but it's invented by Georges Perec, a French author who I have translated and who actually gave me inspiration for my first book, which is I think until today maybe the most renowned and most translated. This is The Way Things Go With Us. And this is a book precisely about the way the things that are going. You can even see the feet under the things, and really starting out writing for kids, that was my first book. I think I I took some example about this writing of Georges Perec, trying to concentrate on the most material, most common things. It's with those things that it was a long time ago actually writing that book. But I remember that while observing how a kid of 6 or 7 years relates to the things around him or the processes around him, it was as if he was taking the world very purely, like physically or materially. For instance, when a beard is growing out of dad's chin, right, then he is wondering that he's observing this process, and he says that the beard is just like a fly on a bread with jam that you can, in Estonian there are the same words, the same expression about sending the fly away from a table and taking and shaving your beard away. So you shave it away, you send it away, and it always comes back. Now, and this physical moment, or this very material moment, is that the beard comes out from dad's chin, and I don't know yet how much there is left of it. So so those little observances, I think those were what made me write about it and fantasize on, like creating or developing that fantasy. And this is what still keeps me writing these days as well, like just seeing some very peculiar and maybe funny for an adult, some observances of a child which may be really insignificant or funny for an adult, or you can just laugh over them, and you do laugh over them, but at the same time they are taken so seriously by the kid herself or himself, who is just trying to explain himself or herself the world around her, and she has those means, and she has that knowledge. He has so much self-consciousness already, but he doesn't have much knowledge. So a great self-consciousness but little knowledge, that is what is the power that makes me that inspires me.
I would like to thank Auntie Saar and Zhen for joining us and allowing us to be a part of your world as fantastic children's book authors. And the EU-China Festival runs through December 6th, so please join us for the other events as well. Thank you so much.